Attention everybody, the views expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits. I approve the use of my song.
Have you said that before?
Yeah, a lot. If I try to think about it, I can't
You
remember
just have to say it.
Good morning! Coming to you live from Axe Media Group headquarters here in the beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your hosts, Matt and Jay! Of course, we got a full house today. We got Jeremiah Humans in the red. Then we got Johnny Cockcroft or Roostercroft or Johnny Rooster to my left. Yeah, the one that actually says the L, right?
1, 2, 3, but that's all changed.
Yay!
That's all changed. And you set this captive free.
Morning, Steve Schultz.
I want to live for you, my Lord.
It'll get in your head.
To worship you.
All right.
Yeah.
Johnny Rooster's on with us today. Oh, he's already in the room.
Sharing the love.
Jeremiah, are you spacing out, Jeremiah?
No.
I know
Saving it up.
you are with me. Nothing could ever be against me. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Thou art with me. When troubled times come my way, I
Boom. Share to my story. Gotta be sure and share these to your story.
Okay.
You've got this, Lord.
Should I start a watch party like Steve Schultz?
Huh?
Start a watch party, like Steve-O?
Like Steve-O Mickey Mac? Yeah, Steve Schultz is a different Steve. Steve
Steve-O
McAllister.
Mickey Mac, he likes to start a watch party.
Yeah.
I will. I just want to feel, I feel in a watch party. It says a popcorn icon.
Right.
Popcorn!
Popcorn.
It's Tuesday!
It is Thursday.
You know what popcorn goes good with?
Peanut butter?
Smoked meat.
Yeah.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
My name is Jeremiah.
Johnny Rooster.
Yeah, it's going to be, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do it. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It doesn't matter. As long as it gets done, people know who we are.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm out of order.
Out of
Yeah.
order. You're out of order.
You're out of order.
Point of order.
Point of privilege. I saw a
Point of
socialist youth meeting or whatever.
Oh, no.
And and everybody, whenever they'd instead of saying point of order, they say point of privilege, and get up and start talking. Like they wouldn't let anybody.
Point of that, though?
They wouldn't let
Did
anybody
anybody
clap.
Privilege
There
is
was
the
no
point.
point. It was just
Point of privilege.
No, there was a point. They were trying to make a point, but what was it? Does anybody even know?
one point was a guy saying, "You can't clap because I'm ultra sensitive."
No,
to
but why
the-
were they
so you have to
saying
do
it that
this.
way? Point of privilege. Why were they saying it
just have
that
to-
way?
I don't know.
They
I
were
just
but they were white.
They were privileged.
They were
White-
college white college
of
men,
white
right?
privilege.
no. They were all races there. It was
So what was
They were
the
all
point?
racist.
Why
know?
were they-
I don't know.
Did anybody ever actually talk to them about what they were trying to do?
no. It was just everybody getting up and complaining about what's going on in the meeting.
I would
Point of
like
privilege.
to. I'd love to talk to because but there was some organization to that because why would they all be saying it that way? That's not normal. It's not usual.
No, that is not normal.
That ain't normal.
So they had this meeting about doing
gonna be-
things
it's gonna
this
be,
way, saying things this way to prove a point. Did anybody ever find out what that was they
No.
were trying to prove?
No, because everyone just kept getting up.
You know
and
what I mean?
complaining.
Because even though they're each complaining and bringing up different points,
Point of privilege.
there was something about their organizing to do it that way that they were trying to make a point of, and nobody ever found out what that was.
It's nothing like making a point that has no point.
that's
Pointless.
I am curious. I would like
I see
to
your
know.
point.
I'd like to know because these people are going to grow up and run the country.
They
you
need
know.
to point Jay in the right direction.
They're going to grow up and run
Well,
the country.
they
though.
need
They're
to.
not- they're
when
gonna-
you're old,
They
No,
may-
these
they're
are
going to
college
be running
kids.
the country.
Listen, they may not grow up, and they may not run.
they
the
were
country.
college
but they
kids.
may.
They were
and
college
do you want
kids.
to take that risk
True.
and not understand what
I'm
they're
pretty
trying
sure
to
it was
say
a-
when you're
I'm pretty sure it was a
That- yeah,
social
when I'm in a
justice.
geezer-
I'm pretty sure it
Your
was a social
well-being.
justice. I'm pretty sure it was a. I was just going to keep saying that. until I
social
got through.
justice warriors.
It was. I think that's what it was. It was a social
SJW.
justice. It looked more like a Klan rally, honestly, minus the sheets.
Bring your.
They
Well, the way that
They used to
the
hang people, Matt.
these people were very, very grumpy
They used
and
to hang
very
innocent people.
People are getting grumpy all over the country.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying they're going to grow up, run the country, and they're going to be making decisions on my behalf. I'm wondering what it is that's in their head.
Morning, Larry Melton.
Somehow allowing them to talk about what it was that brought them together to organize in that way and to make that statement, not the individual complaints, but what organized them into that way
What
to
brought
say
that?
things that way. Because when they grow up and they're organizing and they're running the country, they're going to be making decisions on our behalf. They're going to be our representatives.
Ask
Most
them
of
to
the time when
explain
they
themselves.
grow up, they change their minds and all kinds of stuff.
Well, they're still not as bad as some of the ones we've
but,
got now.
But partly, but
I mean, how would you, Jay, hold someone yourself even accountable for what you said 30 years ago and act like it's going to be your lifelong mission? I think they may change.
I think
I
they
do
will.
too.
change.
Reality-
Well,
reality.
Let's just. I mean,
This was also before
whose
COVID.
experience growing up and arriving at 50 years old or near
We're not
it
even coming-
hasn't changed. I mean, everybody
so
does.
I think that by the time they get to that point, where they are
Steve
in
Schultz says
leadership,
it's not nice to
it'll be a
point.
Yeah.
different picture.
Steve, did you hear what Steve Schultz said?
Steve Schultz.
It's not nice to point.
but in a
Point
way,
it out.
don't you think that they were trying to make a statement that they don't like the status quo? They don't like how things are being done.
Well-
and doesn't that mean that they maybe see a way that it could be done better,
Isn't
at
that a-
least in
Every
their
generation
opinion?
is-
In
thinks
every
that.
generation.
Every generation thinks that.
Right, but every generation also has some effect on it because we have gotten somewhere today where we were not 50 years ago.
I'd say some of those
And those changes came from
some of
those
those
kids.
changes are good and some of those aren't, but
Wow.
time tells.
Kids of
Listen,
every generation.
Are we talking about smoked meat or
I mean,
what
the
are we doing?
legalization-
I'm kind of regretting bringing it up,
the
honestly.
legalization of marijuana came
Here we
about
go.
because of the kids rebelling in the 70s are now running the country.
But now that's reversing. They're even banning vape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's reversing now.
It
It's
is
a good thing I
reversing.
quit now.
Did you quit?
Yeah.
Coming out on
yeah.
the air?
They're now
Is this
going
your coming
after
out party?
CBD. They're now going after vape, and they're outlawing it.
There's
Well,
banning it.
I'll tell
Um,
you this about the hemp. My brother's neighbor in Colorado, full field of it, can't sell it.
It's too late to fully ban it. It is going to be legalized.
can't sell it.
It has already.
They're already
He's stuck.
marching
Seriously,
orders
I'm
are-
not kidding.
It doesn't matter. Eventually, it's going to
Bottom
change
fell
because
out.
what has happened in the past 5 years is that they have proven that CBD is an effective treatment for many things, and it doesn't have the bad side effects that many other things do.
Now they're trying to
and
squash
it's
it.
a better treatment for those things.
Now they're trying to squash it.
Well, they'll probably,
Well, they won't
and
be
maybe
able to.
they will,
Nah,
but
I
not
doubt
not forever. This
'Cause,
stuff's
you
going
know,
to come out.
Alcohol is way worse for you than weed is. Really.
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, anything you can get obsessed over. Anything you can get obsessed over smoking meat.
yeah.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Which, by
I
the
don't
way,
know
Fine.
because alcohol in moderation is not that bad for you.
nothing.
No,
in
no, like
moderation.
no. It even says to drink a little wine with
But
to
also,
help
these
your
things
stomach.
have been refined in
In
a
fact,
way that's
Jeremiah's
not
got some
natural.
alcohol swabs.
Yeah, that
I
is
can say
not that is non-consumable alcohol.
True, true.
All alcohol.
I use all that-
consumable, but
I-
not good for you.
Like before the older guys get here for the Veterans Church, I go through this place with a fine tooth swab, and I like
Fine-tooth
all
swab.
everything
Everything
that they're
wiped
gonna
it down.
touch.
Yeah.
I wipe down
Q-tips,
with an
man.
alcohol swab.
Like a CSI.
Yeah, well, it was like I don't want the older guys, that I don't want them catching the COVID.
I don't
Like,
want the younger guys
He
catching it
rinsed all
either.
he rinsed all the pork yesterday with alcohol.
I have a
In-
feeling
He gave it an alcohol
alcohol-infused
bath.
pork.
all this is going to end before Memorial Day.
You think
That's
so?
Jeremiah Human's prediction. I had
Well,
this thing.
now, hear me out.
All right.
I've got a theory. Hear me out. we know, and I'm not the only person who owns a business who's thinking this way, millions of Americans are suddenly getting stimulus money. By the middle of May,
All right.
most Americans will have their stimulus money
That money.
and their unemployment stimulus money.
Okay.
Do you really believe that Walt Disney,
Ah,
Hollywood...
don't mention any names.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No business
I'm-
names.
I'm-
That's right.
Do
I
you
understand.
believe that
we are
the major
deprogramming
movie
everybody.
production companies.
There you go.
Large theme parks.
Okay, do you really believe these big corporations are going to sit back with all these
scared him.
millions of Americans got all this money in their hand
Right.
and know where to go? No. They're going to open the country back up by Memorial Weekend.
Jeremiah's got a valid point because economically speaking, those non-essential places, they're going to have to become essential again for the economy to come back.
Yeah. Well,
Because they want you to spend
They're
your
gonna have-
money.
Yes,
they
do.
want your money.
Yes.
You know what?
They want it so
Also,
bad, they're going to risk
Things are going to be
everything.
different, though.
let those people know that are out there working with people right now that are putting themselves in harm's way of catching this deadly virus. I try to make it a point to let everybody know when I'm walking through, hey, I appreciate you guys and what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
You
if they
appreciate your cashiers because
Yeah.
they are at risk
Thank
and they
you.
see sick people all the time
Yeah.
this close and
No, you
closer.
do. You're in their trenches every day.
thank the truck
Yeah.
drivers
Yeah.
that
Yes.
have to go across this nation. I am
Yes.
not a driver, but I do work in the trucking industry,
Yes,
and
you
I
do.
am.
Into and out of the
essential-
hot zones.
I'll
Yes.
tell you what, I'm full-time at a grocery store now, helping out, doing all I can. So
Well,
let's
thank you.
do this. Let's
Yeah.
do this together. Seriously.
yeah.
And the medical workers,
Yeah, I
man,
think taking it
you know how
serious that way
scared
is a
that
good
is.
thing.
I can imagine. It's like going on the front lines of war.
I had to
except you don't have
trade
people shooting at you.
occupations. I got out of my occupation into another to help. And I
They
think
are still
people
obsessing
need it.
over toilet paper. What is the big deal?
You know what? Our store doesn't even have the ability to order toilet paper. It comes in when it comes in, and what you
Well,
get
we've
is
got
what
a-
you get. It's
we-
not available in all makes and models.
There's a major, it's not a retail store. It's a version of a retail store over on Mount Vernon and in West Bypass. And they've always got toilet paper because they only allow one per customer.
Yeah,
Well,
started
they
doing
do
that.
at the store where I work as well, but there are so many customers. There's so much demand.
Yeah.
I don't
the
understand
preppers.
it.
Yeah, and they don't.
Or I'm
Seriously, there's no hoarding.
I'm
It's
always
just demand.
suspicious. I'm always
Because it's
suspicious.
limited supply. Supply is low.
I'm
No,
always
it's
suspicious.
not. Charmin is putting it out 120% capacity right now.
Well, Charmin isn't the only.
Don't mention the names.
Suppose for a minute.
Matt, you're going to have to forgive me. I'm not used to that.
Well,
I'm just,
Suppose for a
We're
minute.
deprogramming.
Suppose for a minute the government recognized that after, is it South Carolina? Where was that rally where all the militia came with their guns and marched in the streets? It was
Should
this
have
year.
been in Virginia.
Virginia, wasn't it? Matt.
Virginia's the
What's-
one that clamped
Matt,
down. Man,
What?
wake up.
My boss is texting me right at the moment.
You're
Okay,
multitasking.
so
with
don't
a
get
unit-
snappy with me, please.
It's my
wa-
fault, Jim.
He's multitasking with a one-track
I've got,
mind.
The rally where the men were marching.
that was
Hello?
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Earth to Matt. You know everything. Just tune in.
That's West Virginia.
Doesn't he know you're online? Right
Yes, he's
Doesn't
also
he
telling
realize
me,
you're on the air?
he's also reminding me to let everybody know not to mention the names of individuals or businesses.
Well,
Right.
So,
Okay.
and
Tell
I'm
him it's
telling
my
him.
blame
fault.
the new guy.
Oh, he
He's
knows.
Not even new.
So West
me.
Virginia had this rally. Suppose the government, by that rally, realized that the power of the people was greater than they expected. And the people would come together and rally against the government and lawmakers in the event that they start to violate their constitutional rights.
Our constitutional
All right.
rights have been
So
violated.
now the government realizes this. They see all these people in the streets with all of these guns, and they realize, wait a minute, this could turn into something that we cannot fix. There's no politics that will fix 6,000 armed people dead in the street because they had to call in the National Guard to shoot them all down. And how
they're
many
not gonna do
National
that.
Guard would be killed in the
They're
process?
not
too?
going to do that, Jimmy.
Right, but realize this though. Maybe they realized that this cold and flu season was coming up. They could amp it up to make it this bigger thing than it really is. Well, I mean, it didn't start here, okay?
National Guard's not going to gun people down.
No.
Right, they won't. They won't.
Say it like they have to hear.
But suppose the government realizes this, they hype all this up, and in the nation, I mean, across the world, right? So they put up, they start to hype this up. So we're
Right.
all getting sick
I'm back.
because colds and flus and allergies are all
Could you
coming
remove
up.
that off of there? We are not talking about smoking.
No, we
meat.
haven't.
Oh man.
We will.
Smoking guns, maybe.
But suppose that now that this panic and all of this and all of the preppers buying up all these goods, they're
Mrs.
moving
Rooster,
goods
welcome.
around to find out where they're being purchased at the
Malachi?
most, at the highest quantities.
Well-
so they can locate where the centers of, and then financially track who's buying the stuff, so they can get a better idea where the people who are most
There's a certain
likely
retailer
to
that's
fight.
good at that already. They know.
Listen to this.
Who's
A certain
selling what?
retailer. He
Thank
is really
you
on
so
board.
much. I appreciate that
Well,
more than
now,
you know.
now the
Very
entire
good job.
audience is going, I wonder which retailer that
Right.
is.
Well, you know, they're not paying us for advertisement.
They are very good.
But
at
if they were,
tracking
we would be saying it.
Absolutely.
yeah.
what
Money
product
talks.
sells and what stores sell what.
Money also
A
gives
certain
permission.
retailer that they
Money
got that down to a
point of
science.
permission.
Right. I'm not saying that they didn't have an apparatus to track it
Wave your
already.
bucks.
I'm saying that with this panic, there's something to track with it.
We
We're okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people are just buying toilet paper normally. You got this COVID thing come up, and now the people who are preparing for a civil war and for hunkering down and bunkering down are all buying all these goods and storing them all up. Well, now they have something to track. Now they have a target to use.
They were
it to
doing that
track.
like the that show where those people prep for doomsday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to mention the name of the show.
Right.
I just,
but you can only wonder what it might be.
I wonder what it's about.
Could be the name Yoda.
It could be.
What
So,
the name could
like,
be, Yoda.
They're saying. I mean, at one point, somebody was telling me that they're seizing up people when they find out somebody's prepping and they've got an overabundance of supplies or whatever. A buddy of mine was like, "Oh, they're seizing all that from people whenever they buy in bulk."
How
like
can
that.
they do that?
They can't. They can't.
But-
and I said, "Where did
They
you find
can,
this at?"
though.
And it was from somebody posting something crazy on Facebook. This was years ago, back when Obama was still president. And he goes, "Hey, you know that Obama's going to change the American
Do
flag,
your
right?"
voice. Do the voice.
Well, I'm not quoting Obama.
No.
And
Yeah.
and I said, "Really? Yeah, he's going to make it a blue one with his face on it." I said, "Okay, I don't know if you realize the extreme measures that would have to go into changing the American flag. Wouldn't it have to be like a unanimous decision
I think so.
on part of the people, not
Well,
electoral colleges either? This is like that would be every American
Well,
would
the
be counted."
Senate and the
See-
Congress probably could do it, but there's no way it would.
We
they-
do
Yeah.
there's
We
no
do a
way.
show.
These doomsday prophets have never been right ever.
You know, I saw a billboard by
Doomsday
one of the
Prophets
Doomsday
should
Prophets,
be the name of a band.
and it said, "The world is going to end on such and such date, whatever." And then that date came and went, and the very next day, I guess in the middle of the night, they went up and changed the sign. Well, this is awkward, so, because you know.
Well,
You know what else is a good way to prepare for doomsday? Smoke meat.
Yes,
Smoke meat.
great
I
segue.
I went to his
Segue.
house last night. Okay, so we've been planning this for a while.
Let's preface this
Yes.
by saying, okay, at first glance, if it's not smoking, the smoker looks like a complete rust bucket.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it looks like a.
We're gonna
rusty.
paint it up. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
lipstick and rouge.
I'm gonna get new tires for you. Here's the thing. We've been planning this for a while, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm a skeptic, of course, because I saw the pictures of this rust bucket. Okay, I go to his house last night, and we come around the edge of his
Camper?
his camper, and the smoker. This is smoking.
Smoking.
And as soon as you see it, you're like, "Oh yeah, that's working right." It was perfectly working. You could
Oh,
see
man.
the smoke working through. It was a beautiful, beautiful
It was
sight.
okay. And
Temperature and so then the temperature was exactly what it was supposed to be,
hi, Priscilla.
and
Steve
it
Mickey
smelled
Mac.
so good.
It was,
Oh man,
Smells like heaven.
you
Yeah.
know,
and I didn't get any of it.
I didn't get
No,
any
you
of it
didn't.
either.
well, I've got 2 more roasts I'm gonna smoke probably this week.
yeah.
So I'll have to. I didn't realize it was gonna be gone so quick.
Smoked meat.
But
Now, you had a pork shoulder.
yes. And I
did
cut
you-
it into 4 roasts.
Do you have a special ingredient or two?
Yes. Of course I do. Why do you-
See, no, he stuck that on Facebook Live. He tempted everybody.
Are we
with it.
going with hickory? Do you do a different type?
I
of-
don't like using oak. I love hickory, cherry, apple, and pecan.
Yes.
Those are my favorite woods to smoke with, and I'll
You
smoke
know what
with all
I'd
of
like
them.
to see? Remember that super hot chip dip that you made?
Oh yeah. The
I would love to see one barbecued with that, mopped with that.
I do use a mop sauce. Now I can't tell you what the mop sauce is, and this will work good for any
That would be
pork
so good.
product, really. Apple juice,
Yes.
apple cider vinegar,
Yes.
mustard.
Didn't know
and
about
your
that.
and your favorite barbecue sauce. You can I like using Dijon, but all I had was plain yellow. And you mix it together and you mop it about every 30, 45 minutes, depending on what you're actually smoking. But
You
it'll
need to mix up a
if
bucket
you
of it.
if you infuse a little bit of that applesauce down in to the meat, it really helps too. I got
I
these-
actually injected the meat
Inject
with
it.
a honey ham injection kit, right?
In fact, honey. Speaking of honey, is a good thing to go in there too.
Mixed with I mixed it with salt,
Or brown sugar.
garlic,
It'll caramelize
onions, and
and the ribs.
little a particular barbecue sauce that
you can't name because they're not a sponsor.
They're not a sponsor, but
It's good.
They had a big cook-off
And
every
it-
year, and that was a good. That was
it's set for
interesting to see.
it's set for 3 days
Yeah.
before I froze it,
Uh-huh.
and then I froze it, and then I took it out and waited and took 2 of the roasts out and waited 2 more days.
Uh-huh.
So it cured for 5 days total,
Cool.
and then the juice or the grease
Oh yeah.
that I
good.
had to drizzle
The
some in the bag.
potatoes.
Oh yeah, the potatoes.
Don't forget the potatoes.
Yellow potatoes.
Yes,
The
a
skin
little-
was that leathery where you eat.
But
you know,
not too dry. It was like
It was so good. Oh man.
Well, Jeremiah, I
These were the
guess
best
we hear
potatoes
about it. We
I've
don't get
ever
to
eaten.
Sample it.
I know.
like,
He had
okay.
it on Facebook.
these were the best baked potatoes I've ever
Teasing
eaten.
us.
teasing us and tempting us with it.
yeah. Well,
Oh.
that's part of the fun.
I'm about to drool out the side
Part
of
of
my
the
mouth.
fun.
The potatoes. All right, so
Hey,
I
maybe-
learned how to make potatoes on a smoker, and the key is first of all, never poke holes in the foil unless you're wanting to cook them really fast. But what I do is I take
Do you
aluminum
poke holes
foil.
in the potatoes themselves? or
No.
just leave them alone.
Just leave them alone.
Let them.
Whatever
You-
he did, that's how
I
you
put a
want to do it. I
huge
can tell
I
you
put a
that.
huge dollop of butter, smear it on the foil, and then take the potato or 2 in this case, stick them on there. That way they don't slide around.
There's hand motions with this guy. So
Roll it
be
up.
Watching. Watch your
Roll
screen.
it up,
Not one, but two.
seal it.
2 baked potatoes.
Seal it. You want to roll it and fold it and seal it.
He showed it.
This is
Uh,
an alternate angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you seal it up, and you put them as far away from the fire because you're going to be leaving them in there for the duration.
Yeah.
Those were in there for like 6 hours.
I'm
But you
just
keep
saying.
them far away from the fire. The smoke doesn't get to them really because of the foil. They are sealed up, but you also sprinkle salt on them as well. And when you open it
Delicious.
up, you just grab it and it just comes apart. And then the
Nothing on them.
You don't need anything
just
on
break
'em.
them apart and eat 'em.
buttery. Jeremiah's like,
I believe you misspelled fundamentals. I think DAM is the correct spelling. Just going ahead and saying that.
Just-
that's Ozark chic.
Yeah, Ozark chic,
Fundamentals.
bro. Ozark,
Fundamentals.
Say it like
Fundamentals.
Ross, bro.
Ozark,
Fundamentals.
Ozark chic, bro.
We spell it the way we spell it.
Yeah.
Linda says, "Oh, stop it!
Yeah.
You're making my mouth water." Hi, all. Stay
Hi.
safe.
You
Love.
you did spell morning drive correctly. I'll give you that.
I've been smelling it for a while.
I don't think you changed that one very often.
So the next thing
And
I'm
so
going
we
to do
sat
is a
around
tri-tip
drinking
brisket.
cream soda.
Dr. Pepper cream soda.
I wonder if that would make a good glaze.
No.
To candy onto a.
Nah, well,
Because I like this sweet.
probably. Well,
brown sugar.
okay. I'm going to give
an
you guys.
option.
All right, just since we're teasing you guys so much, I'm going to give you guys a recipe for a rub that works on any meat. I'm not going to give you my secret
If
ingredient.
you weren't paying attention, you need to tune in fully right
And this
now.
is-
And this is a little old army trailer. You should
Yeah.
see this thing. It's so cool looking.
It's
Well, does it have a star on the side? Like
no,
No, it
no.
needs one. You
It's
gotta
going
put one
to.
on there.
Army green.
It's going to.
Yeah.
So what you do is, and a lot of people, and this, like I said, this goes good on pork, chicken, turkey, just you name it, it goes good on it. And the ingredients are essential, not just for flavor. Most of these ingredients are essential for the chemical reaction that causes
And what about
it
the quantities?
to break down the proteins and make it really, really moist and tender. The quantities are, well, just find the one that works best for you.
Yeah.
Now, you'll want brown sugar, dark brown sugar.
I want brown
Yes.
sugar.
Brown.
Or maple sugar. Maple sugar is just as good.
Jeremiah, what do you think?
So you take
He's salivating over there. You can see his mouth.
you take like at least, depending on how big it is, and you find the one that works best for you. But as long as you have these together, it causes a chemical reaction that you can smell.
Yeah.
All right, so take brown sugar. My mouth is watering too. Paprika, preferably sweet paprika if you can. If not, just regular paprika is fine. Black pepper.
How do you spell that?
Crushed P-A-P-R-I.
If he's having trouble with fundamentals,
Forget it.
All right, so paprika. You'll want celery seed or celery salt.
seed.
Kosher or coarse sea salt.
That's the proper demonstration of how to cough into your elbow.
Yeah, smoking like a
Better is don't
Dry
cough at all,
mustard
ever.
powder,
yeah.
and that's important as well. Or mustard seed.
If you have faith as a mustard seed.
Yeah, and you
move
can.
a mountain. You can tell the mountain to move to the sea.
That's really all you really need. And you mix this all together, and you rub it on your meat.
The celery and the mustard I wasn't familiar with.
Those
Those are the things I wasn't aware of.
Well, those right there, they are, because you really can't taste the mustard or the celery.
But what does it do?
It causes a chemical reaction that breaks down the proteins in such a way that it makes it very, very tender when you're smoking it. Yeah, and it
I'd like
works.
to see if anybody
works on
watching
turkey.
or listening has a smoker and has done anything like that.
It works on turkey especially well. You leave it on there on a turkey for 24 to 48 hours. The longer the better.
So this is the soak or whatever it's called.
This is the dry rub that you can put on anything, and
Talking about dry rub.
and it ends up turning into a
ingredients.
liquid on it, really. But it'll make the turkey that I make, the smoked turkey that I make, will even a week later you could take it out and put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and it just gushes juice.
Ooh.
Wow.
You don't need gravy on my turkey, and it's
But
a
now,
sweet.
doesn't that
falling
depend some
off
on
the
the
bone.
temperature that you do and the length you cook it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, but the rub will assist you. Like if
So do you use the pop-up?
no. I actually have a thermometer.
When did you get
And-
started doing this, and how did you learn?
I started back whenever I was a drinker.
2 years ago.
A good.
I mean, when you say that, there's no
No,
calendar
this was
reference.
back in 2009,
But you were so drunk you
2008,
don't remember.
2009. No, I remember
Okay. All right.
because
got
I
it.
usually started before I got drunk.
You got 11 years experience.
Yeah, the preparation is one of the more difficult parts of smoking meat because and you got to be patient. You can't really rush it. You want to make sure. I usually start smoking the meat between 200 and 250 degrees, and I leave it at that for at least 4 hours.
So it's important to have the gradual increase in temperature.
Yeah, it's important to, while you are filling it with smoke, essentially.
Yes.
Because what that does is it keeps from boiling all the juices out and boiling all the smoke out at the same time. So if you have it between 200 and
I wonder if
250.
you marinate it in brandy.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're going back to the
Sweet
drinking
brandy.
thing.
No, you don't drink it. You
No.
light it on fire after it. Once you put it in the smoker, it's
It's
gonna
like
go
those
whoosh.
fajitas you see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'd be good.
I've
Anything
never
anything
tried it, but
alcoholic is
I
going to
might.
impart kind of a tangy, depending on what it is, a sweet taste or a tangy taste
It's
to
a
it.
very unusual, and I love it. It's so good. A friend of mine used to make it when I
Andrea
worked in a
said
restaurant.
posted on this, the recipe.
Can you? Is that even?
I don't even really have, I always do it by sight.
You know,
know-
some of the
By
best
taste.
recipes are by taste and not by measurement.
Pie is
I
best.
know.
Like fruit pies are best done that way. With
pinch
your
of this, a
cinnamon
pinch
and
of
your-
that.
yeah.
Have you ever
Yeah.
had a smoked
Yeah.
fruit pie?
I do that. I don't have exact recipes.
You ever had a
Yeah, I
smoked
don't follow
apple
the-
crumble?
No.
I go by sight.
That doesn't sound
Yeah.
appealing to me.
And by taste.
Yeah.
As you go.
It is appealing.
Absolutely.
It's pretty good.
Which
you don't,
I
now
want
you don't
guys
leave
to
it
know that
open.
Jeremiah and I have not
seal it.
been able to sample this stuff they're talking about.
Oh, man.
It's Matt and Jay. It's kind of their thing.
Okay,
We
I'll
are-
tell you what I'll
Not
do.
my thing. I just
will
eat
bring.
the stuff.
I will bring the bag. I won't even worry about it because I won't eat it. I'll bring the bag of what I have left.
This
It's
is
about-
called a guilt trip.
It's about a
It's
1
going
pound
on right
roast.
now.
1 pound is
As
left
we
of the
speak.
roast, and it's been in the fridge.
It's working.
And we'll
Bless you.
Bless you, Matt.
Matt's here.
But I'll bring it if you want to come back tomorrow. I'll bring it and let you try it.
Steve does it at 2:25. He says.
Wow.
Man.
Awesome. Did you hear
Oh,
that?
then-
yeah, I did.
and
He
then,
says his daughter
wow,
has a dry
that's-
rub recipe.
Well, after about 4
Our
hours,
gracious
3-4
host.
hours, depending on how much smoke. If you don't like a whole lot of smoke in your meat, you'll only want to go between 30 minutes to an hour, and then bump it up between 280 and 320, and depending on what kind of meat you're cooking.
No, Steve, it's not called a drunk turkey. But
And then you wrap it with foil whenever you got enough smoke in it that you think you've got enough smoke in it anyways. You wrap it up with foil. We'll seal it. Take whatever you're mopping it with and dump it in the foil pack and then seal it up and put it back on the fire. And then at that point in time, you're just adjusting the heat up and down.
And you learned all this just by
Trial and error. The first thing I ever smoked,
Didn't
I
have
had
somebody doing it that you were kind of following their idea.
No. Well, see,
You're a pioneer.
I love inventing recipes of stuff. I love creating food dishes.
Maybe
I
you've
guess
got an alternate calling in life.
I almost went to college for culinary arts, but okay. So the first smoker I had, I bought at a
You
very
almost went to
prominent,
college.
retail store,
almost.
and it's one of those. It's a water smoker. It's one of the. It's like a little tube. It's got a. It looks like I guess what you would call that little robot on one of those popular Star type movies. Really popular ones.
Very popular. So I'm hearing voices.
We don't hear nothing. Do you guys?
I gotta shave again.
Anyways, so it's like you build the fire, and then you set the thing on. You set the thing on top of it, and then there's a water pan that goes right there.
Watch, because he's doing hand motions again.
Hand
And then
motions.
then there's 2 racks, and then the lid. Well, the first thing I did was a 10-pound brisket, and I used the Jack Daniel. I'm not gonna say it.
A very
the barrel,
popular
the barrel,
barrel whiskey.
The barrel. They chop up the oak barrels and make wood chips out
Has
of
the
them.
same
From it.
initials as a green and yellow.
Now I
machine
don't
tractor.
like oak because I think it leaves more of a bitter taste on the meat than
You have a
than
lot of
hickory.
oak out there today, though.
Do I?
Yeah. And
Can you
that wood
actually,
you have is a lot of
like
oak.
when there's wine involved, they say the type of glass affects the taste?
Oh yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
does the type of wood really affect the taste of
Oh,
the
yeah.
meat?
Absolutely. Like pecan wood adds like a rich aftertaste. Are you okay? Are you hungry over there?
You're making my mouth water, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
the pecan meat, or the
pecan wood adds like a little bit of a. It's a rich. You've had pecans. Steve O. Mickey Mac says, "Hey Jeremiah."
Some people call them pecans, but you know
One of
that's
the
what
men
use
I go
when
to
I'm on
church
the road.
with is a barbecue judge. Steve says,
you get
"Hey,
some
John
comments.
Cockcroft.
Hey, back to you.
Too much smoke will make it bitter. Yeah, it will. But it depends. See, I like mine really smoky. And one of the things now, if you ever, I smoked 30 or 40 pounds of brisket and 10 racks of ribs and a couple of chickens for this graduation party. And
You sacrificed a few chickens along the way.
yeah.
Sounds more biblical.
Doesn't it?
And well, I was sitting there, and there was a lady. She was pulling a piece of the end of the rib off, and it was pink, really pink. It was magenta, actually.
Magenta.
And that's what you want. That is the pitmaster's badge of honor, so to speak. Is that pink ring around the outside? She's like, "This is not done. This is not good. This is not done." I said, "Ma'am, come here. Let me show you something." And I cut it in half. And no, it was the brisket. And I cut it from the fat end after letting the meat rest. That is very important, by the way. You tent it with aluminum foil and you let it rest That way the juices have it.
Give the meat a nap.
Will redisperse throughout the meat. Anyways, my mouth is watering too, Jeremiah. Don't feel bad.
Meat sleep.
And I cut it, and there's the pink ring, and then it's gray in the center. And I said, because it was done. I said, how is it possible? How would I cook the center but not the outside? I said, that is a smoke ring. That is where all the smoke taste comes from. It's a smoke ring. So
Smoke ring. I've seen people blowing smoke rings.
It just has to taste good.
it's so
That's
good.
all Jeremiah
I love-
cares about. And
How you
that's
doing
what
over there, Jay?
Most
Good.
people, they just want it to taste.
Now you're a cook
taste
too,
good.
aren't you?
What?
Aren't you a cook too?
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, and then another thing that was really cool is Jay came over near the end, and we just sat looking into the firebox at the fire while the meat rested on the. It's got a little rack on it, a little like thing to set stuff on.
Yeah.
We're gonna actually, find a way to attach a sink to it,
Yeah.
and
all that and the kitchen sink.
yeah,
And
and
the bench.
I would love to. I would love to be for hire. You know what I mean? And
He's starting a new career.
go and.
Hey.
I've had people pay me to smoke for their events before, but the trailer I used at that one I was just talking about was a giant trailer, smoker trailer, and it was a giant cabinet.
Right.
You could have
Like,
an event now
it was
for
like this
10
big,
people 6 feet apart.
and it was taller than
call
me.
it
Right.
the social distancing tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a little trick:
You could
if you're
tour
ever
inside your
if you're
county.
ever actually selling barbecue stuff anywhere, throw an onion on the
Oh,
fire,
Yeah.
and that will bring people
bring
to
the
you.
flavor and the smell to life.
Well, no, what it does is
And
it
sell ice cream.
Onions and ice cream.
Onions. And
it
ice
makes
cream, I'm just
people
saying.
hungry. The smell of cooking
yeah.
onion makes people
Yeah.
hungry,
Yeah.
and they'll come over, and you do a lot better if you throw an onion on the fire.
The smell of any food makes my sons hungry.
Like that's how they do it out at that prominent
Me too.
deal in
get
Branson, you
hungry-
know, where it's like old fashioned.
Yeah.
And you notice that every time you walk by, you smell that smell, and it makes you
Yeah.
want to go buy it.
Yeah.
That's because they throw an onion on the fire, on the coals.
Oh, that's unfair.
They know
It-
this. They know.
Yeah.
They know.
Oh,
They
yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah. But sometimes I'll grab some of the wild onion or wild garlic. You know what I'm talking about? Grows in the yard. And I'll throw it on the fire just because I enjoy the smell of it.
A quick related subject of food: morel mushrooms. Mushrooms. Are
Morel
growing.
mushrooms?
Morel mushrooms are growing, but I haven't seen any yet this year. But I think they're amazing. They're tasty,
You're supposed to cut them. Don't pull them up.
but don't pull them. Okay.
You've gotta
so
cut 'em.
any instructions out there would be appreciated.
Why? Because the roots are deadly?
Well, because the morel, when you cut it and eat it, the morel is actually still in the ground.
Okay.
It's still there. You've not. But if you pull it up, you've removed the mushroom from its place. So if you find morel mushrooms, you can go back to that same spot every year and eat the same
shrooms.
and
Love
eat the same
shrooms.
mushrooms that you've always eaten. They're
Don't
up-
eat the ones on cow crap.
wow.
Yeah.
That just came out of nowhere.
Well, I'm just saying. That's
It
a
came
good
out of
warning.
the pasture, actually.
Yeah.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
Fertilized.
Yeah,
I-
you don't pull them up. You cut them.
Now,
cut 'em.
you got to know what you're doing with mushrooms because mushrooms can kill you if you eat the wrong ones.
Yes, and
Yeah.
there is one that does look like a morel that is not.
Well, now well,
There's a lot of people that are hunting mushrooms right now because they haven't got anything better to do or anything else.
Positively
That's-
identified.
that's one of those positive IDs. You're like a police
There's
officer.
a clear
You pull
difference.
'em
You just
over.
have to know what it is.
My
when
sister
you
and I
pull-
traded meat for cookies last night.
You pull the mushroom
cookies
over,
are good
you
too.
have them roll down their window and show the proper identification.
That's
and
right.
make sure they have their registration papers in order.
That's
before
right.
One
you-
time I was visiting a farm, lost my hat in the cow pasture. Tried on 3 before I found my own.
Really? Was it you weren't trying on cow crap, were you?
Yeah.
Cow patties.
That's
Hey,
pretty
what
crappy.
do you guys call cow chips?
No, we call it chip tossing. Like, yeah, did you ever chip toss? Did you guys ever do
I have seen that done. Personally, I've tossed a chip that was very old. I don't try to. The new ones are not as easy to toss.
Well,
It doesn't
If
matter
you-
what you call them; they're not going to answer you.
if you get them the right,
Good point.
they're dry
Good
on
point.
the outside and
Point of
soft on the
privilege.
inside.
Point
if
of
you throw them just
privilege.
right, the dry part will break, and then it'll just it. One time,
Like a
okay, my
Frisbee,
brother
only
Scott,
not.
we were
Chocolate
walking out through his
Frisbee.
field, and I threw it like a pie, and it stuck to his back, and just goes smack. and then just sat there for a second, and then goes. Shh,
My mouth is no longer watering.
Left a
through
big
that.
ol' left a big ol'
That's
left
why
a
I
big
kinda
old
got
circle
this
there.
painful right here in my jaw.
You know, they used to use like cow crap to burn as firewood.
Segue from meat to crap.
Okay, I wouldn't
good.
smoke with crap.
That's
That would
good
be bad.
segue.
They do burn cow chips in certain countries where they don't have access.
Yeah.
And on
We
the
use
prairie, the
We
ranchers
used
do
it for
that.
fertilizer.
Okay, so Jay, you know
But you can't burn it.
The juice that was
Yeah.
in the bottom of the pan.
If you don't have
Uh-huh.
access to lumber.
Right.
I
or
didn't
trees.
want to bring dogs up to the field, so I took it and dumped it on that really hot bed of coals.
You dumped what now?
You go whoosh.
It goes whoosh, and that's all you can. I mean, it
Have-
smelt so good.
Have you guys heard that certain farmers have been dumping milk?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, they had. Well, they're
This
running.
raised
Actually-
the price, right?
I hate to tell you this, that is not a new
No, it's
No,
been
it
going
isn't.
on for years.
Yep.
Well, it goes
They
bad.
have to do it.
Well, yeah, they have
No.
to, but they also do it
No.
to raise the price.
What'll happen is the price in the wrong economy, the price of milk will drop so low
Yes.
that they
cannot
can't.
make a profit.
They can't even pay their
So-
bills.
Whenever you hear
like
that,
So they
oil.
withhold from the market.
and
Yep.
and you
Bring the
think,
value up.
oh my gosh, they're dumping milk. I'm going. I grew up on a farm. They've been doing this for
Yeah,
decades.
decades.
It's not a new thing.
Now I tell you what,
Yeah.
farm fresh milk before it's pasteurized or filtered and all that stuff is so good.
Oh, I
a
love
lot
it.
of
I grew up
farmers
milking
are
a cow.
subsidized. So milk is not the only crop that we've had to.
Yeah, I get it. You have to do what you can to.
Jay would point out that milk is a commodity, not a crop. But I'm just
But what
being,
you're not
I'm trying to play
understanding
Jay's advocate.
As a lot of
You're
the
right, right.
farms are
Clarification
subsidized.
expert.
So you think,
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh,
Thank
his
you.
life savings
I didn't want to
down
say
the
it.
tube.
I was
No,
keeping it on the
Yeah.
down
he's
low.
subsidized. So don't feel sorry.
Point
Don't
of-
feel bad.
Well, the thing about it is, first of all, I love milk. My we
If you
call her
love
Grandma
milk,
Hensley.
bravo for dumping it out, because if it wasn't for them dumping that milk out, they would go out of business.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have milk.
Well,
Except for the public schools with those little cartons, they'd have
Grandma
that for a
Hensley.
while.
Oh,
They'd
We
be
used to
full
go-
of water.
when I
we
was-
used to go to Grandma Hensley's house when we were kids, and she always had fresh milk
Yes.
in the glass jugs, and then the other one, she made chocolate milk out of it with all the fat still in it. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love the fat still in it.
Wired
You could
us
have
up.
Turn that off, make
But
butter,
the
cream, ice
the cream
cream.
would rise to the top. We had a cow growing up. I would just milk that cow. We'd get the cream off the top, ladle it off, and onto the cornflakes. The cornflakes stick together. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a glob. It's like a corn ball. It's
See.
awesome.
Our mouths
So-
are watering again.
It's yellow. It's so
Oh,
rich.
I noticed we didn't run
I
an
never saw
advertisement
that.
yet.
No, not yet. We're getting ready.
Do we do that?
I just now figured that
Are we
out.
running
haven't
an ad?
run an ad for anything.
Are we
We-
running one?
We're going to.
Oh, this is
So if you like this show,
yeah.
or the others that we're going to
add here. Put that on the bottom of the screen.
like for instance, if you like the Morning Mouth with Johnny Rooster and Pastor Matt on Monday mornings before the morning drive,
7:35.
we're asking that you partner up with us to help us to expand the programming that we have on here. Go to axmediagroup.com. Check out all the stuff on there. First thing you see is Real News Review articles, stuff written by Dr. James R. Whining. You can also check out our past shows that are on there, and they're powered by YouTube, obviously. So you can just click on them and you start watching the video. Now, to the right, there's a donate button where they take PayPal, credit card, what have you, and you can do a one-time donation, or you can become a monthly partner. No donations too small, no donations too large. It does go right back into the ministry and right back into operation. And we want to be able to operate more.
And they're trying to censor us on YouTube by adding steps to being able to view the live videos. So you have to go to the YouTube channel, then you have to click on
While it's live.
while it's live. Then you have to go to the YouTube channel. Then you have to click on go to channel. Then you
And
have
then
to
there's-
click on videos. And
It's
you're
not
there.
doing it on the computer, though. You can get to it. It'll show you
Directly.
live. Yeah, right on the computer.
Yeah.
The mobile way is a little bit more difficult, but yeah, go to axmediagroup.com. Check
So
out what's
look at
going on
it.
there.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, like, and share these videos. That also
Yes.
supports us
Yes,
like
do
crazy.
that.
Are you feeling lethargic?
Well, we're not doing ads for the naturalsolutionstore.bz really anymore. But yeah,
That's what you were waiting for, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Jeremiah?
no,
you know,
that's what I
people.
was-
Some
it's-
people
it's
used
not
to watch. I noticed that Jana Hale hasn't watched in a while, and I think that's because we're not doing. I think she only watched us for the naturalsolutionstore.bz commercials.
Really?
Yeah.
Why,
Anyways.
was that her store?
No, she just loved
She
them.
lives in
Oh,
Belize.
right. You're right. Maybe that is
Maybe
it.
she lives in Belize.
Belize.
No, she
Winter home.
No, she lives in like North or South Carolina or somewhere
Fine.
out there.
Fine. I'm just throwing out a theory and you shattered it.
Crash.
Oh yeah, BZ. You knew
Crash
BZ
and
meant
burn, bro.
Belize.
Yeah. Well, Jay told me because Jay knows a lot of stuff.
What did I say?
Jay knows
Jay knows
a lot.
That should be a show. Jay knows.
Yes,
Just
I
do-
love it.
do a
I love
slot
it.
where Jay knows.
I love it.
Ask Jay.
Yeah.
Jeeves is old school. Jay is right here, right now.
Yeah.
That just brought it to a silence.
I just wanted to make an awkward silence.
That was pretty good. You did very effective.
Yeah. Just does it make you feel awkward?
But what if they ask something I don't know?
Well, you just Jay.
Jay it up,
Jay,
man.
Jay covers up all.
The
wrong.
question is,
I could just give up. and
Are they
throw out
going to
some
find
random
something-
theory.
Act like you know, and we'll say which one is true and which one is.
are
false.
they going to
Yeah.
find something that you don't know? That's the question, Jay.
Remember
Actually,
that game?
Probably.
Go ahead.
Matt,
Probably day one.
you and Jay have inspired me.
We've inspired you?
Oh,
Yes.
That's an awe moment right there.
Oh.
No, that's a serious. What did we inspire you? What do you mean?
When I bring back my podcast, I got a name for the show,
What's that?
and you inspired the name,
What's that?
The Evening Crash.
The evening crash.
The morning drive,
Yeah.
evening crash.
That makes sense.
You're
Because Matt
crash.
said
Yeah,
it
you crash
one
in
day
the
on the
evening.
air, and
Yeah.
I just put that in my mind.
Oh yeah, whenever whenever I was dispatching in I worked days, we was doing some of the evenings because I couldn't do them in the mornings. So we called it the evening drive or whatever, the morning, and then
Well, one morning you were teasing about the names for the show, and where you talked
yeah.
about calling it the Morning Crash.
yeah, it's a morning drive, not the morning crash. And then
Depends
Jay
on
would go,
how you drive.
That's where I
The
got the
Evening
name.
Crash.
So that's a good.
Well, you
name.
do crash in the evening, you know, so to speak.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
great
why I
play
thought
on
the
words.
Evening
It's a
Crash.
great play
How
on
long
words.
have you been a fan?
oh yeah. Gianna lives in Michigan.
Well,
Glenn
welcome.
Schmuck likes my video.
Welcome.
See, it's showing me my video down
Yeah,
there.
I see that
that?
down in the corner.
See that smoker? It looks really,
That's
Uh,
awesome. Your smoker.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jay knows my nose.
Jane.
All right, all right, look
Jane
at it. Look at
knows.
it. Can you see that even? Look at that, Johnny Rooster.
I see that.
Look,
Yeah, I
look,
see the
look.
smoker. I see the smoke.
You see? Well, you'll see the.
There it
meat.
is.
There's,
Oh,
those are
yeah.
the baked potatoes.
Okay.
All right, and I'm talking. All right, and it's really, really hard to see how much smoke's coming out of it. There's the ribs and then the meat. Anyways,
Are you
I'll
putting
stop.
it up there?
no,
No. You
Uh,
letting the viewers see it?
no,
No.
nope. I'm just.
That's
teasing.
another teaser.
Yep, teasing
Oh
them.
man,
He won't give them the real thing. he'll just
beautifully. It
tease
was
'em.
working so beautifully.
Yeah, when you go around, and you can tell whenever the smoke is just right
Did-
because
did you
it's
know
not
that
white.
Steve Schultz had a question. Do you cut your meat with the grain against the grain?
This was pulled pork, so I pulled it apart.
Pulled pork.
Now, if you're like cooking beef, you'll want to slice it when it's done against the grain, across the grain, not with the grain, because when you do it with the grain, it is really have you ever eaten like brisket or something and then it just you couldn't stop chewing it? I was like,
Uh,
well, that's because they sliced it with the grain, because the membranes of protein between the fibers, it like it's just really chewy and hard to, yeah. So you got to go across the grain, and it's usually better to do if it's beef. You want to do it at an angle. You want to use a serrated knife for cutting beef. I mean, you can use a really, really sharp knife, but I found that a really
we're out of here,
good
bro.
serrated. What?
We got to get out of here.
No.
Serrated knife.
We
On
got
that
3
note,
minutes.
That's a very sharp way to end a show.
Well, I know. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Little
He's
raggedy.
such a knife guy.
I'm a knife. Guy.
Don't stick it to him too bad.
use a knife.
So, we'll be on next.
Got a
We'll
good
be,
point.
Pin it. Pin
we'll
it.
be taking. I think we'll be taking some calls. We're going to try to take some calls,
We're
Point
living
of
on the
privilege.
edge.
Point of privilege.
Yeah.
providing that the phone works okay. We'll be taking calls next in lieu of
In lieu of
something to
flowers.
celebrate.
In lieu of flowers.
In lieu
In lieu of
In lieu of flowers. And then we're recording a couple of morning mouths this morning.
Because you got a morning mouth going
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So I'd like to thank everybody. Jeremiah, thanks for being on the show with us today.
Thanks for wearing red.
Johnny Rooster.
It shows up really nice on camera.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Look at that.
Johnny Rooster, thank you for being on. I'm
I-
pretty sure you'll
I-
be hanging out for
I
a little
think
while.
it's interesting that I'm wearing black against black and he's wearing red against red, and it just looks really good, guys.
And I'm wearing my Veterans Church T-shirt.
You want to make sure that you give a shout out to the Veterans Church.
Yeah, that'll be that's on every Thursday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then of course they're going to do it every Sunday until we're able to go back to Maranatha Chapel. So every Sunday from 2 to 4.
You guys need some
here.
evening programs.
Well, you know,
Evening crashes.
if I didn't work evenings, we would have evening programs.
You could
But-
teach someone else to do what you do.
Jay knows. Remember that? We went back to that. Jay knows.
Well, Jay also works in the evenings as well. So,
Yes.
but we'll get into that eventually. But there will be evening shows.
So they are sending us home early, but the place I work for is really taking good care of us. They gave us $2 an hour hazard pay raise. They're going to retroactively pay us for that. A lot of great things that they're doing. They give us a free meal a day, which is a massive
wow.
gift. I mean,
Wow.
so they are really taking care of their employees, and they're doing what they can. And they're not doing it because it's been advised by the government. They're coming out with their new policies a
Wow.
week before the government's even suggesting it. Before you even hear it on, they're already doing
Generosity.
Well, other companies
Yeah.
are stepping up to the platform.
it. Yeah, but they're stepping up before anybody else.
I think-
They're up to bat.
I think
all the
Mark
time.
Mark Cuban started the whole deal.
Good job, America. You guys are doing great.
Really,
Thank
Americans.
you to all of you guys that are out there doing it, making
And you
it
know
happen.
what's good too is that's biblical. The Bible tells the wealthy business owners and those with land to take care of their
people.
slaves and to take care of their workers. And it says
Well,
it is
servant is what they mean by slaves.
servants. No slaves. People would be
Indentured service.
Yeah.
Servants. Yeah.
They were slaves.
Well, some people have a hard time.
Some
with the
people
word
have
slaves.
dentures and they're indentured.
Yeah, that's true. But you're right. Yeah, slave, servant, same thing. 61, half a dozen the other.
Employee, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
Your
has been the
servant.
fun dementals of smoking meat and other items by Matt and Jay.
Yeah. So,
with guests Johnny
we'll be-
Rooster and Jeremiah
Yes.
all right. So I tell you what. The next time
Young Man. We're rolling the credits.
the next time I make some, I'm gonna have Jay holding the camera, and I will show you guys how to make the how to prepare the meat to be able to set and soak for days. So, anyways,
Cool.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the morning drive today.
Smoke them if you've got them.
We'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. So until then, my friends, may God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
My name is Jay.
Jeremiah.
Johnny Rooster.
and this has been
The
the Morning Drive.